welcome. My name is Lauren Elizabeth with Lauren Elizabeth Animal Art. I welcome you if you're new. I'm a pet and wildlife acrylic artist and instructor. I help take beginner and intermediate level artists to become masters of pet and wildlife acrylic animal art while reducing stress. And it's that time of year, guys, when many of you are working on pet portraits, trying to finish them in time for Christmas, and getting too caught up on those details. I have found after many years of doing this that acrylic painting is very similar to filling a bucket. You start with your largest rocks, and then you add your medium rocks and around the crevices, and then you add your smaller rocks, and then the sand comes last. And that's very similar to how we layer. We want to start with our largest shapes and slowly layer to our smallest, working with our largest brushes, then going to our tiny detail brushes, working back to front, dark to light. Now, I'll show you what this looks like and how you can simplify the details and paint more efficiently in 4 phases. These are the 4 phases of my 12-step pet painting process. But before we get started, this is the last call. If you want to get the items that you order from my Etsy shop in time for Christmas, you must do that now. And also, comment down below if you would like a challenge that's similar to the one I did in Inktober, where we painted all different kinds of aspects of acrylic animal art. Let me know if you want to do that in January as like a fun little challenge. All right, creatives, so without further ado, let's get started. All right, so if you decide to apply these 4 phases that I'll go over to your artwork, to be the most efficient, you must keep your eyes fixed on the goal of each phase, not looking ahead too far and not getting caught up on your past brushstrokes, overworking areas. You want to keep a steady, consistent pace, focusing on these 4 phases. Let's go through phase 1. Preparation phase. That's phase 1. Now, phase 1 and 2 are the big rocks of the painting. Those big rocks need to happen first before the medium and small rocks go into that bucket. And the preparation phase, our goal is to choose the very best photos we can possibly get our hands on that have a well-defined light source. So I recommend 1 strong light source, at most 2, and the photos being clear, non-blurry, and getting the view that you most prefer painting. So whether that's just the face or the full body or neck up. I also tell my clients I need at least 3 of each pet. So the next goal of phase 1 is to then create a rough sketch. A rough sketch, not a perfect sketch, not a photorealistic sketch, a sketch that indicates proportions, composition, and layout. Keep things as simple as possible to prevent any procrastination or major improvising and causing you to feel overwhelmed about where details go, having to do a lot of guessing. Let's prevent that by getting good photos, a good enough sketch, and let's get painting. Phase 2. So now we're painting in the foundation phase. These are more big rocks before those medium rocks. So our goal for the foundation phase is to focus on covering up the white of the canvas or paper and just getting the main shapes, the main lines, and 1 to 2 layers of your dark, your medium, and your light values. Now we do this most often, not 100% of the time, most often we layer from back to front, background to foreground. Now I have a base for my background. I'm going to apply clouds over the top. While I let that background dry, I'm working on the eyes. So I start with the focal points in the foundation phase. The focal points are the areas that the viewer looks first. Their focus is first on the eyes, then on the nose, then on the mouth, and then their eyes go around the painting. But wait, hold up. What if there's just too many details that you don't even know what to do about? So what if you don't know what background to choose or what abstract colors you want to apply to the fur? You tried to see the general shapes, but all you see are those tiny details. Well, here's what you do. Create a quick mock-up. Use Procreate, or here I use Copic markers and colored pencils. Then painting won't be so daunting. But another technique is piecing it together like a puzzle. Do you know how to put a puzzle together? I like putting puzzles together with my kids, and I've learned that first you flip over all the pieces so you can see each piece. Then you find the corner pieces and the middle pieces. Then you test out pieces working with what you already have, what you already know. You don't have to have all the pieces, but you have enough to find the next piece, which leads to the next piece and then the next piece. That's how I also like to approach a painting. So if you're overwhelmed by these details, you have too many choices to make a mock-up. Follow these phases, starting with the background, then the foreground, focusing on only the goal of each phase that I'm going over, and trust that you're gonna piece it together like a puzzle. Now, in the foundation phase, phase 2, we work on the background, the eyes, nose, and mouth. Then we start applying the dark, then medium, then light values, which you can go about in one of two ways. Either you can mix up all your dark values that you can spot using your reference photo, whether you're using the realistic colors or the more abstract colors like I'm using here, and you apply all the dark values that you see in the painting. You place it down, the shapes that they make. And then once you've applied the dark values, then you go in to the medium values and the light values. This is one method of covering up the white, which is one of the main goals of the foundation phase. Another method is what I'm doing here, where I focus on one area of the pet at a time. So I've actually mixed up as many of the dark, medium, and light values that I can see in the painting. I actually spend about a half hour mixing up all these colors that I think will be applied to the canvas, and then I go in just one area of the animal. Right now, it's the nose of Brutus, and I apply the dark, then I blend in the medium, then I blend in the light values. Then once I'm done with adding 1 to 2 layers to that one area, then I focus on covering up the white in another area of the animal. So after the nose, I'll work on the right side of Brutus's face. These are two different methods of the foundation phase that I've taught in my masterclass and other tutorials. I tend to favor the second method the most. There's a lot more blending involved, but the first method is more layering. Now, a really important point here, anytime we're trying to determine what is a dark or medium or light value, we need to know where that light source is. If we know which side the animal is getting hit the most with light, we then know the opposite side will be the darkest. So when applying these values in the foundation phase using one of these methods that I've gone over, we're being guided by that light source, piecing it together one piece at a time, starting with the darkest values, then building up whether we're layering or blending to the medium values, and then to our lightest values. A really huge tip that helped me in looking past those details in this phase is trying to create the shape the different values are creating. Let's pause so I can show you exactly what I mean. See how I can literally define the shape of the different dark values in Brutus, along with the different light values. And then those in between, those medium values, are what join these two areas together. I can literally define their shape, whether it's a circle or a blob or a triangle or a rectangle, and that's how we can place them down in the first 1 to 2 layers in the foundation phase. Always keeping in mind as we're applying these layers that we can always tighten things up at the end. Let it sit for a while and we can always redo it later. I have found if I just focus on one goal, one phase at a time, I can better determine how to fix a certain area later, or it grows on me and I start to like it over time, so I leave it. But first we have to add those big rocks, then the medium rocks, then the small rocks. The reason I gave it its name, the foundation phase, is the word foundation means the lower level or the lowest load-bearing level of a house or building. So this is the base layer in painting plus a layer or two. And just like a house, we never want to rush this process, but we most certainly want to be as efficient as possible with all the layers ahead of us. Although in the foundation phase, we're not focused on detail, You most certainly do not want to alter proportions as much as you can help it, so making sure when you add these different shaped values that you're still maintaining the proportions of the animal. Now, being that our focus is to cover up the white and apply at least 1 to 2 layers of our values, this phase is going to take the longest. It's our biggest rocks. It's going to require the most amount of time. Hopefully we're not spending double the amount of time on our details at the end. But I kind of wish that in the footage right here, we would be closer to the definition phase, which is phase 3 of this pet painting process, but we're not. We're quite far away from it. So I'm going to skip there. And if you would like me to add a full real-time tutorial of this one, let me know in the comments down below. But I'm going to skip right there. The very start of our definition phase, this is phase 3, our medium and some small rocks. Now, artists, I can't tell you how many times I've received emails with questions about their pet portrait and how to finish it, and they're at this phase. They're at phase 3. So if that's you and you're at this point, well, let me reassure you. I'm going to go through the main goal of this phase to move us into the 4th phase so we can finish our painting. So as you can see, I'm using a rigger brush. I'm using a very small, thin detail brush, and I'm applying the thin strands, the clusters of lines, over top the base layer for the white fur. Side note, whenever painting white fur, I never recommend a dark blue base or a dark violet base or any dark value. I recommend a medium to light value base. Then you want to go in with your liner brushes, tiny detail brushes, and apply a nearly white lines for the fur over top. I see artists do this a lot. So that's the base color I used mixed with lots of white, and then one line at a time, I layer that in the definition phase. So let's go through the main focus, our main goals for phase 3. We're moving to our medium to small brushes in this phase. The shapes and lines we add over top the 1 to 2 layers from the foundation phase are much smaller. And this is a big one, they're not entirely covering up the bottom layers. To create that depth, we're partially covering those layers. And another goal is that we're trying to apply our rounds, more rounds of dark, medium, and lights. So that means looking around your painting and seeing where you need to add more or adjust the dark values, then doing the same thing to the medium values, then the same to the light values. You may even need to make adjustments to the proportions as you're doing that. Now, this doesn't just mean I'm working the animal, this also applies to the background. We want to make sure we have that background completed before we start layering fur strands over top. So it's actually critical in the definition phase that background, that you complete the details there, then start working on the different rounds of the animal. Another relief, this will give you peace of mind, that in this phase, your goal isn't to try and match the same colors you applied to create those dark, medium, and lights in phase 2, but to make them similar, not exact. The more variety and depth you can create in color, the more dynamic your painting will be. So don't stress out about your colors not being exactly like they were. It's almost my goal to try and make them slightly different with each layer that I add. All right, so once we've completed phase 3, our definition phase, we move on to phase 4. That's very similar to phase 3, so sometimes you don't even know you're in it, but it's when we're adding those final details, those whiskers, those inner ear hairs, those eye highlights, the highlights on the collar and the leash, any final adjustments, more hairs that overlap the background, and of course, more rounds of our dark, medium, and lights. This phase are the small rocks and the sand to fill our bucket. The question I get so often by artists is, how do I know when the painting is complete? Well, that's kind of how I've designed the goal of this phase. What I recommend to artists to help them complete a painting is by honestly getting as many layers as you can to create this gradual progression from dark to light, larger shapes to smaller shapes. I don't really recommend using straight white to finish off those whiskers and those final eye highlights. I recommend starting with a gray or a light blue. But if there's a very strong light source, then it might be very necessary to use just white. The other goal to help you complete your painting is by looking at how you can create contrast, strong contrast from your dark to your light. So very often when I'm working on a painting in this phase, the completion phase, I have to go darker on the dark values and even sometimes lighter than on the light values. Not all the dark and light values, but the extreme opposites. So directly where that light source is hitting the animal, sometimes I have to go lighter, and directly opposite that, sometimes I have to go even darker. And lastly, just like we were doing in phase 3, you want to look for those joiner colors. Where we have those gaps, those big jumps between our darks and our lights, we need to find the right color, that medium value, to join those areas together. So again, it's this smooth change from dark to medium to light. And guess what? Do you know another way we can do this? We can actually cut in using lines when we're working on animal fur, like right between Brutus's eyes, and I have all these lines. What I'm doing right now, in between the eyes and around the forehead, I am trying to get the correct color, but lines, that texture can also help join these areas together. Now this is a side note, this is what I do in my completion phase for my own style, but I like to add the accessory colors. You'll see here in a moment on Brutus's portrait that I'll add hints of pink to the fur, some turquoise. I love to go on with my violets and blues. Then by that point, if you've accomplished all the goals to the best of your abilities in the completion phase, now it's time to just step back and observe your work objectively, not being critical. You also may need to give your eyes a rest for a couple hours or a day or two if you have that time. Sometimes fresh eyes really make the difference. They can either help you know what to change and alter and adjust, or it grows on you and you leave it. Now, if you'd like to learn the 12 steps in these 4 phases of my pet painting process, you can find that in my online animal art masterclass. I designed this class for those who are really struggling with things like anxiety, depression, and addiction, but love animals and love art, and they want to master their skills. You'll discover the benefits of animal art therapy like I did years ago when I was in my own battle with addiction, depression, and anxiety. Here within the masterclass, I have my creative color guide going over all my color methods, my master animal fur course. I teach creatives my process for drawing pets and wildlife. I also have a pet painting commission course if you're considering making a part-time or even full-time income from your pet portraits. I also delve deep into the different parts of pets, such as how to paint dog noses, how to paint cat eyes, how to apply whiskers, and so much more in my online animal art masterclass. So if that would bless you or a friend, I have links to the masterclass down below. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If this helped you, be sure to like and subscribe for more animal art tutorials. Have a wonderful holiday and good luck on your portraits. Bye.